What is it about Sedona that keeps calling me back? Is it the stunning red rock buttes that rise up randomly from the valley floor? Or is it the natural-made bridges and caves with prior civilization significance? Or maybe it's all the hiking trails and energy-inducing vortexes that need to be explored and enjoyed. Sedona, located in the heart of Arizona between Phoenix and Flagstaff, is known as Red Rock and Vortex Country. Surrounded by lime and sandstone buttes, steep canyon walls, and pine forests, Sedona offers incredible hiking with picturesque views of nearby buttes, caves, and cliffs. People travel here from across the country and around the world to explore the vortex energy for meditation, rejuvenation, and healing. For some, it's a life-changing experience they will never forget. For others, it's simply one of the most amazing and beautiful places in the world. I've been to Sedona several times and I never get tired of it, and when I leave, I actually can't wait to come back. I mostly enjoy the hiking trails in and around Sedona, enjoying the subtle vortex energy coming out of the earth below. Whether I'm getting a workout climbing Cathedral Rock or slowly meandering along Oak Creek, I always feel refreshed and very energized afterwards. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 great hikes in Sedona. Your physical abilities, the desert heat, and time of day and year will dictate which trails you decide to do. I always try to hike in lower temperatures earlier in the day and bring more water than I need. This is the desert, and if you are hiking in the hotter months, you will need lots of water and electrolytes to have an enjoyable trek. During monsoon season, it can get very humid and thunderstorms with lightning can pop up quickly. Let's start with the Birthing Cave on Long Canyon Trail. It is said that the Hopis of the Red Rock region sent their pregnant women to the Birthing Cave to give birth. The women would hike up to this cave before going into labor and wait until their child was born. This trek is only a 2-mile out and back hike, and after about a half a mile, you'll take a left at the fork in the trail. As you near the cave, the terrain changes to a steep incline as you ascend up into the cavity. Once up into the Birthing Cave, you'll have fantastic views, and if you want to see the wide angle from the back, you must have good gripping shoes and be a good climber to get up onto the high-angled wall. As you gaze outward from the back of the cave, you may start to imagine how this place was named the Birthing Cave. It is said that the cave opening resembles the female anatomy. You decide. We really enjoyed this spiritual and sacred cultural site, especially since it was only a 20-minute walk. However, there is very little shade on this hike, so bring enough water to drink. On our trek back to the car, we encountered people walking to the cave on a hot day without any water at all, looking very hot and thirsty. Sedona is smack in the middle of the hot Arizona desert, so I was really surprised when I hiked along Oak Creek for my first time. I was walking along near the Vortex at Red Rock Crossing as I enjoyed the meandering trail along the creek. In the summer, the creek was a perfect temperature to cool off on a hot day. Hiking along the creek under the thick canopy of foliage and trees, I tended to forget I was in the middle of the desert. I loved being near the creek, listening to the water run by and the natural sounds of the forest. This was a great place to reflect and meditate, and a nice change from the other desert hikes around Sedona. The Devil's Bridge hike is a very popular hike and one that I thought about not doing since I tend to enjoy more solitude on the trail. However, I finally decided I needed to do this hike to experience Devil's Bridge once and for all. The 4-mile out and back hike did not disappoint, as I really enjoyed the winding trail, especially the steep incline at the end. We started on the trail at 7:30 a.m. and I quickly realized that we probably should have started a bit earlier. Hikers were already coming back to the parking lot as we were just starting. Not only did they get to enjoy Devil's Bridge without the crowds, but they finished well before the heat of the day. We decided to take the Mezcal and Chuckwagon trail route instead of the popular Dry Creek Road that most people use. There were very few people on this route for the first mile or so until we met the Devil's Bridge Trail. At this point is where you meet up with the 4-wheel drive tours and most of the hikers going to the bridge as they use the Dry Creek Road route. I prefer hiking on a trail instead of a dirt road, and the distance was about the same. As we got closer to the bridge, the trail started to ascend, and then even more steeply up the winding rocky steps. You'll reach a nice plateau area to catch your breath and take some photos before the final ascent to the bridge. Before you know it, you're at the bridge, probably behind a large group of people waiting to take their picture on the now famous Devil's Bridge. There were a lot of people waiting, but it was actually kind of fun. Everyone was really polite, taking turns and being friendly, taking each other's pictures on the bridge. The group size kind of ebbs and flows as people leave the bridge and arrive. We spent a little more time up here than most, having a snack and enjoying watching people take their turn posing on the bridge. It was really nice to see people having so much fun. The hike down was very reflective, and I was thinking I'd like to do Devil's Bridge hike again, maybe someday when there was no one else there, just to experience the solitude of this space. Just coming down now from Devil's Bridge hike, and it was fantastic. And this is probably one of the nicer hikes in this area, and the payoff is just incredible with Devil's Bridge. Devil's Bridge was a great all-around hike, and I definitely recommend it. The secret subway cave is located just off the Boynton Canyon Trail. This area is said to be one of the major vortexes in Sedona and very sacred and spiritual. The cave is not really so secret anymore, but for some it's still a little hard to find. We actually missed the turn as we were hiking along, mesmerized in our thoughts. Once we realized we missed the turn, we decided to hike to the end of Boynton Trail and then catch subway on our way back. This made our hike just over 7 miles total. The first mile of the trail meanders along the edge of the Enchantment Resort. We're on the Boynton Canyon Trail this morning. I think it's about a 6-mile round trip. It's a beautiful morning. To get to Subway, you'll need to keep a lookout at about the 2-mile mark, where there is a large juniper tree on the left and a wide opening on the right. There's no sign here, but you can see a spur trail beyond some logs on the ground. You'll know you missed the turn if you find yourself hiking in a tall pine forest. After the turn, follow this trail for approximately a half a mile up to the cave. When we arrived, it wasn't too crowded, maybe 10 to 12 people. I started to make my plan on how to climb up the slanted sliding rock. Once in the hollow, I only had to wait a few minutes to take my turn to walk out to the end. What a spectacular sight it was. Such a cool view and definitely worth the effort to get here. After taking a few pictures, I noticed a few people making their way around the right edge of the cave to view the ancient Sinawa ruins. Once back on level ground, I found a short trail up to the ruins and actually made my way back into the subway cave from there, and I got to enjoy all the glory of the cave by myself. It's hard for me to grade the different hikes in Sedona, as they all have their particular beauty and meaning, but hiking to and being at the subway cave was really a highlight for me. It is said that the native Yavapai Apache would not even enter this canyon without first purifying themselves through fasting or deep meditation. My gosh, Cathedral Rock. What an incredible sight and an even better hike. I can't get enough of this hike and look forward to doing it every time I visit Sedona. It's only 3/4 of a mile up, but it can be challenging for some hikers. I hiked up in the morning, but it got hot real quick. About halfway up, I met a few people that decided not to continue, as well as some that had difficulty getting back down. You'll need to scramble a bit going on all fours in a few spots. All trails calls this a highly technical hike, so you'll want good gripping shoes and at least a liter of water. I made my way up the trail fast to get a good workout in, and at the top I was paid off with great views of Sedona with only a few other hikers there. After taking a few pictures and feeling rejuvenated, I scampered down Cathedral Rock, promising myself the next time I come up here, I'll try to be the first one up to enjoy the beautiful sunrise from Cathedral Rock. Later that evening, I returned to Cathedral Rock, not to climb it, but to photograph the Milky Way with a friend I had met on the trail that morning. It was fun to share the experience and knowledge of night sky photography in the desert Southwest. Sedona is a magical place known for its magnificent red rocks, spiritual vortexes, and ancient and sacred sites. Whether you come to Sedona to hike in the beauty of the spires, buttes, and historical sites, or to meditate among the mystical vortexes of positive energy and self-healing, you'll leave refreshed and you'll know why Sedona keeps calling you back.